Welcome friends, this is Shanna Cramer with Creatively Uncorked, and today we are going to paint this lovely, snowy winter river scene. And this is a painting that's out of the Creatively Uncorked library as a watercolor painting and now as an acrylic painting. If you like painting winter scenes or if you like painting landscapes, stick around till the end and I'll tell you how to get a really great deal on more winter landscapes. Today's painting, we are only going to use a few brushes. I have my large filbert brush, medium filbert brush, I have a small round brush for some of the details, a pencil just for sketching my background, and the paint colors today that we're going to be using are going to be brown, or in this case this is a burnt umber, phthalo blue, and ordinary white. And this is one of the paintings, this is my reference photo right here. This is one of the paintings from the Creatively Uncorked library. The original was done in watercolor. Today we are going to be working with acrylic paint. Well, let's see how it turns out. What say you, Magic 8 Ball? Is this painting going to turn out? Without a doubt, thank you, Magic 8 Ball. I'll just do some quick sketching here. So I have my horizon line somewhere right close to the halfway mark. Uh-oh. Down into the river. Okay, and then there's a hill that comes off over here. Maybe that comes a little bit higher. Yeah, a little bit higher. Okay. Then it comes up this way. We have some like big hills in the background. Not mountains, just kind of, hilly hills. Let's see. We've got a river. Got a mound of snow over on this side. We've got the wobbly river bank over here. We have some little grasses. We have some trees. Okay, good enough. Let's go. Taking my big old brush. And starting with the sky. I'm starting with this colorful canvas thinking that maybe this canvas is going to show through. Some of the colors that are already on there are going to come through a little bit and influence the final painting, which would be kind of cool. Okay, I'm wanting to make a little bit of a, I don't want shiny blue. I think I want like a dull grayish blue. Because it's a sky, it's a winter sky. It's not like, ooh, there, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. There we go, some dull winter sky. And now I can come back in with some clouds. Just to brighten it up a little. What do you think of these diagonal clouds? Let's see if I can get a little more texture in here. I want those streaks. No streaks in my cloudy sky. What do we think of that? Is that okay? Maybe brighten up a few areas. Oh, hey, let's finger paint. That sounds fun. Finger paint on those clouds. Okay, maybe a little less finger painting, a little more paintbrush. All right, I'm gonna let that sit and calm down and dry out a little bit, and then I'll move on to a couple of other parts of this painting. So I know right down here, the next thing that I have is going to be, actually, you know what? Let's do that river, because the river is right here. It's going to reflect the sky. It's going to be the same colors. Our brush is already dirty. Let's just do that. Genius. Brilliant. Good job, me, for thinking of that. And here we go. So I'm just kind of going around the edge of it right now, real quick. And then I'll bring in my streaks, because this is a reflection. Sure, the water's moving too, but also there are going to be vertical reflections of anything that's in the sky. And even if it doesn't look quite this streaky and vertically, it's still going to come across as a reflection. So that's basically what we're after. This dark part I'm putting in here right now is future tree. At least that's what I'm expecting. Okay, picking up some white. Yeah, it's a good thing we're doing this river first because then I can be a little sloppy about it and then just cover it up with the snow. How's that looking? Vertical enough? I can come back in here and add some darker colors too if I need to later. Just want to make sure it's smooth and vertical. Vertical, not vertigo. Already, I think my sky's a little too bland and I know I want to touch that up. Let's pause a second so I can blow dry. Okay, background is dry. Now I want to start adding some of these hills. I know I'm going to have trees over here, but there are also going to be some hills behind the trees. We'll just get some nice variation in there. The bottoms, I'm just kind of letting it fade off. The top of the hill is the only part that we're really going to see. There. Now this hill kind of goes off into the background, so it'd be okay to fade it back. A little bit of a darker, cooler color in there, so add a little bit of blue to get it to fade off into the background. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. So we'll stop there with that one. First little hill done, and then we'll move on to our next couple of hills. We'll do the hill over here off to the right, and this one has some shadowy sides, some not shadowy sides. So we'll start out by doing the shadow sides. It doesn't look like much quite yet. The shadows are going to be on the right. Okay, we'll add some shadows down at the bottom of it as well, but for right now we're switching over to the sunny side. Get the rest of this paint out of my brush here, I think, so I can just use some clean white because I want to brighten it up as much as possible, which is already going to be tough just because the canvas is colored. It's not a white canvas. So that's already going to tint all of the colors that get painted on it. There we go. And this hill just comes right down. Our trees are going to be growing over here. There, I'm gonna let this go. All right, moving on down. So this is going to be where my hill connects. It goes from way back there to the mountains all the way to way up here in front of our trees. Pretty darn big hill, don't you think? All right, now we've got a couple layers of hill in there. I'll bring in this hill. This one's going to be right down into the water, down in the lower left. And this one will come in from the side. All right, this one will have some grasses and things growing out of it in a little bit. And how we're doing over here, let's take some of this brown and blue combination. How are we doing for 10-minute painting? We are at 9:42, so 9:46 I mean, so it's going to take more than 10 minutes to finish this. That's okay. That's okay. All right, clean off that brush and then back to the white. I want this hill to be mostly white, so I'm putting that paint on pretty gosh darn thick. Keep doing it. There's the edge. All right, I'll have some little plants and little grasses growing out of the ground right down here. Okay, let's get that dry and move on to the next step. It's time to add some trees. So I'm switching now to my small filbert brush, dunking that in some water, picking up some blue, some brown. There's a little bit of white mixed in, but not really deliberately. It's just because it's on my plate. And then I'm going to put my trees. Like I'll put a tree there, I'll put a tree there. Okay, about like so. All right. And then just tapping in my trees here. Just a little, oopsies. Looks like I have a few extra trees in there. Hang on to your brushes, folks. You end up with some trees or birds. That actually is a true story of how birds happen. A little more paint. Back up to this other tree, this big old second tree, the tall one, the forward one. And just tap on some branches. All right. And this is nice. I like these trees over here. This one could use a little more ooft, heft, weight, darkness. I don't know, just a little something. Okay, so now I've got, I think I'm gonna put some little trees over here. So maybe maybe a little bit, but I want them to be really, really, really faded. So more white, really faded. Darker. No lighter, no darker, no lighter. Okay, let's see. Yeah, something like that. That's a good color. Don't want a lot of variation in the color back there, and these are going to be mostly just little vertical spikes. I'll do a couple of horizontal things here, but these are trees way off in the distance that we barely even see, barely know. I mean, we know there's a row of trees back there, but that's about as far as it goes, so I'll just fall that right off the edge. I know this is going to dry a little bit darker, but let's see. Maybe I can make it slightly darker than that. Doesn't really look like trees yet. It just looks like a bump in the hill. Okay, there we are. Now we're talking about trees. That's better. Okay, that's it. I'm going to leave those trees alone. I know I have a couple of like grass type things growing out of the ground over here. I want to take some darker color and go around the edge of that stream, river, whatever it is over here, this little flowing body of water. I'll just give it some edges. And get back into that. I'll try a liquidy brown, and by brown I mean brown, blue, and white is just more on the brown side. But yeah, this is really every color mixed together. And let's see, I'll get a little, if I can get my brush way out there and just kind of scribble in, barely touching, just scribble in a couple of lost grasses that might be coming through the snow. Maybe a couple little twigs over there. A couple of little, maybe some reeds showing through the snow over here on the right. Take this big area of snow right over here. We have this large area of just plain white, so let's do something with that. Okay, way out to the end of the brush, way out. Liquidy paint, get a little more fluidy. Dark colors, blue, brown, whatever. And maybe this was a little bush of some kind. Maybe some sagebush. Just something that grows right out of the ground there. Okay, so that brush back in the water, taking my smaller filbert again, pulling that sucker out. Okay, take some white. Kind of give those little grasses some definition, like they're actually sitting on a hill. And right here, I want this to be a little more highlighted. There. Where these kind of hill areas are, I'll just highlight the tops. All right, what do we think of that? I think the river's not done yet. So I took some darker and put it along the river bank in some areas, but not all areas. And I don't think it needs it in all areas, but definitely some. Okay, so where are my trees? Because we want to have tree reflections. Let's not forget about those. There, now that tree's got a reflection. How about the sky? What are you thinking of the sky? Does it need more darks? Does it need more lights? By the way, don't do that to your brushes. It's very bad for them. I normally have bad brushes that I can just do that with because they're already wrecked. But nope, nope, not today. Today I decided to go wreck a new one. Well, I didn't decide to. I just, you know, that's just how I paint. And let's change up the sky yet again. I just want some dramatic whites and darks and like storm clouds, almost like it's going to be snowing any minute. I mean, it's not even that cold. The ice isn't even frozen. There we are. There we go. Finger paint, scribbly-doo-dahs, happy little skies. Yeah, we got it. Very dramatic. How's that? If you are interested in more landscape paintings, then the link is right down below, and that is going to be a super, super, super good deal on landscape painting bundle. And these are all tutorials. They're a little more thorough than this. This was a very quick tutorial. And it's going to have downloads where you can trace it onto your canvas, and you're going to have all the paint colors, the video, walkthrough, everything you need. And if you're looking for acrylic painting videos, check out this next one right up here. I think this one is going to be exactly the one for you. Go ahead and click it. I'll wait.